Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shut Door or Door Shutter, coming back to you with episode 44 of All the Mods 9. Today, we are getting into create, auto crafting, and a few other things along that line because we want to start getting further into create to get all of the casings we need, all of the mechanical crafters and precision mechanisms. Those are the kind of two goals that we have to get towards. And so to do that, we are gonna just see this llama like spazzing out in the wall. Let me quickly get rid of that distraction. But yeah, we are going to get into automating. I believe we've got andesite casings, so we want to automate this. We also want to automate brass casings. I know there's also copper casings out there, which is the fluid system with Create. We're not going to automate these right now, just because we don't need to. We could. It's not hard. You know what? Why not? Let's slap that in here whenever we get the first two done. Let's go for it. Might as well, since we're already here. Let's just go for it. Okay. So let's get those two things down. Get these two things down. So the next step is to get the items that we need placed, right? So recipe. So we need to give the top piece andesite alloy and the bottom piece, which is the depot, the actual log. So I think the best option for this is to get a barrel or chest or whatever. Get that. Get a couple of these, actually. And we're going to plop this down. Let's name it real quick. Make it easier on us here real fast. So this is going to be andesite. I think that's how we spell andesite, right? Andesite casing. And the reason I'm doing these separate, by the way, is because... Oh, I guess I could just do that, right? Just copy. Is because that way, if we need an excess amount, we don't have one system that's waiting on another crafting operation to complete. So let's get that placed down there. Let's get this placed down here, and we are going to simplify this by using pipes. We aren't going to do conveyors and stuff right now, at least. We do need to look at getting some kelp farm and stuff going sooner or later, especially to get belts and things, but that will be down the line, and that will be mostly for the precision mechanism stuff. So we'll look at that in the future. All right, so item pipes, advanced item pipe upgrade. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go down, and this will be for logs, right? This is the andesite casing one. I think both of them are logs, so I don't think it matters. Let me make sure. Recipe. So the only thing I see here is that we actually need stripped logs, and I forgot about that. How do we get stripped logs automatically? I know there's a way through create, so let's look at it, because this is what I forgot. So we would need a sawing piece. Okay. So let's see about that before we continue on here. Because basically, we're going to filter logs down here, and then we're going to set this to do this. And then advanced pipe upgrade. Grab some andesite alloy. And just say allow. And then on the bottom part, we can just do that oak log that we have. Because we're just going to use oak. There's nothing else that we're using here. And we just add it there. So that is your basic automation. The biggest thing now is we need to automate stripped logs for both of these. So let me get these pipes down here real quick. We can call this automation good. We just need to get the next part done. So this is brass instead of the other. We might need to look at getting the crafting recipe for this up and going. I know there's this recipe here, which is 3-to-1 zinc and copper, or copper and zinc. What other recipes? We have 1-1-to-2, which I'm not really concerned about copper wasting. So we'll look at getting the 3-to-1. Not really worried about that. So that is not the right thing. That is the right thing. So those should be good. I don't have the actual pattern for these yet, but whenever we do, we'll get there. let's see. So the only issue I have is getting like a mass amount of stripped logs because I don't want to have to wait. So do we have a better system than create? Do. It actually does not look like it. That is kind of strange that we don't really have any other way. I mean, we do have this method, which actually does have a slicer. I thought there was, with the cutting board. Let me see. Let me try something here. Because if I remember correctly, there's a way to do this with the actual deployers as well. And I'm probably not going to do it this way. I want to find a fast way to do this other than, like, create. So let's click on that. Give it this. Okay, so that's not how that works. Okay, so that's going to break it. It's not what I meant to do. I forget how create rotation works. Can you tell? Okay. So that technically would work. It's just a very slow method still. Okay. Let me get my axe back here. So, cutting board. I think it's not hard to automate this one, isn't it? Like it's super simple because you don't really use a whole lot of mechanics. But I can't remember actually how to automate this right now. Because you can pipe in. Let's grab some more item pipes real quick here. I'm surprised I still don't have these on auto crafting. Everything else, like I've been like getting a whole bunch of stuff through auto crafting, just not this. Because you can pipe items out of this. You can pipe items into this. You would just need to have a way to activate this. Do we have like a user? I'm not even sure. Modular routers with an activator module. And then you would just do front, sneak. Actually, I don't think it's sneak, right? It's just go. If I can type in there. So if I gave this an axe. So the only issue is that for some reason it's continuously placing this. Let me get rid of that for a second. So it's just, you can't hit it. You have to right click it. But also right clicking does that. Okay. Give me my axe back, fool. So if you were to get an inventory checker, this is probably overly complicated, by the way. We could totally do the sawing method, but one of the things I want to try and do is kind of come up with some creative ways to not make these episodes boring. And I kind of just think looking at this might be interesting. I'm not 100% sure. I might be biased. But let's see. So if we say just one of a oak log. So if we were to get rid of this for a second. Because this thing technically has an inventory, right? So you could tell that, hey, there's a there's an item here that is the proper item. So if we did, let me see. Can I set this on top of an inventory checker? So if I can do it this way, and we're not going to keep this here right now, right? We are going to just test, and then we may come out and just decide to do the other way. Okay, so I can't set that there, which is kind of annoying. All right, let's find a more permanent location for this, because I think this is the way we're going to go with it. Because I think we could get this to work quick enough that it would be useful. So let's just set this. Man, I hate the fact that we're right next to a cave on these layers. I keep forgetting about that too. The good thing is we don't really need to go back too many layers. So we do this. Let's raise this by 1. Okay. So inventory checker. F3G real quick. Okay, so we're not on a chunk border, which is good. So that would be for oak log. Let's just make sure that this works on a vertical spacing. Where is my oak logs? Okay, it does. And there is, of course, that delay. That's the only issue I see, is where it has that few second delay. I just wish there was a way to, like... Alright, just overthought this a little bit here. So, what we need to do is quite simple. Just use a dispenser. There's no need for some fancy activation module or anything of that sort. One of the things that I will mention is input works, of course, but the output is going to be very one-sided just because it is dropping it into the world, right? There's nothing we can do about the fact that it's dropping it into the world, but we can detect that there is an item placed, and so what we should be able to do is at laser node, we should be able to send a signal to this dispenser using redstone cards. Need one more redstone card here. So on the down direction, output strong, and then here, input, and then here. Okay. The only problem I see is once we run out of logs, it will stop working properly. Because remember, this needs a pulse to operate. It can't just run on a continuous redstone signal, I don't think. So that's the only issue. So if we take out the logs, okay. Well, actually, I guess technically it'll never stop. Okay. Right? Because if we ran out naturally, yeah, there's no redstone signal, so we should be fine. So the only thing we need to think of now is collecting these items, which is not that hard. Man, I'm so tired of these stupid Easter eggs. This is why I don't like Cordell tombstones. It's like the small little things that make no sense. We also get a byproduct, by the way, of tree bark. Tree bark is used for paper, organic compost. Let's see, a few other things I thought. Looks like we could use them in a rice cooker as fuel. Okay. So not too much use, but, I mean, side effect of getting organic compost is not a terrible thing. But this definitely looks like the faster method. And also, I don't think... Yeah, we don't have a pipe upgrade here. So if we were to clear this and make this thing just a little bit quicker here... And that axe is unbreakable, remember? So I don't ever have to worry about durability here. But yeah, the speed at which you're getting this is I think, the best option. Okay, so let's get some of these items out of my inventory. So we just overly complicated it, and we figured this out. So the only thing now is to get a wireless connection point. So we can actually get a pattern provider, which I have a few of in my inventory. And we might want to name this to just be like stripper or stripped log, something like that. Let's see. Striped. Am I spelling strip? I can't English right now. Hold on. If I can type, too. I was on the right track. Okay. I just second-guessed myself there. So stripped logs. Of course, we could put any kind of stripped log in here and get an outcome. So the only thing is now is getting the actual items in the actual thing. So let's get an interface. Okay. And then I'm thinking like an item collector. Probably advanced. Advanced sounds good. Not another basic. Advanced. And then just put that there. I think this should work. And if we do arrange, let's go in one more. Because what I plan on doing here is actually getting just some glass. So we can see this while it operates. Because I think it's a pretty cool little mechanism. Glass. And then, of course, we also need a demagnetization coil. So I don't pick things up when I walk by here. And let's just set this under the cutting board. Kind of out of the way. Okay. That should be perfect. And then we can just do this. The only thing we need to do is make sure we set this actually up. So let me go do that real quick, and we should be golden. I also need to get a pattern, but let me get those two things. We'll be right back. All right, so I've sent 128 through the system, and this is not working too terribly bad. I think this is actually pretty quick, and I'm kind of surprised how quick this actually is operating. I think the only other thing is I need to quickly switch the axe out once this runs through all of them. So it looks like all the items are, of course, in this barrel right now. So if we actually break the glass here, that should get picked up and thrown in there because I haven't filtered anything, which is fine. I'm not really caring about filtering. This is such a limited area that you won't ever need to worry about it. But I'm kind of curious. If I were to get an ultimate pipe upgrade, I don't know. I don't think this will affect anything. I also got another axe. I just grabbed an Aldemodium axe real quick so I could have my vibranium axe back. So that should be good. That is our stripper. Stripped log factory, whatever you want to call it. And it works beautifully. That is very simple. Because what? All you've got is a barrel pushing items into the dispenser that has a redstone signal whenever an item's detected. And that is sent off with using a laser node. And of course, an item collector picks it up. And of course, demagnetization under the floor so you don't pick anything up with your magnet. And of course, it's all automated with the E2. That is beautiful. That is amazing. It was quick. Honestly, I was kind of expecting it to be more complicated. I think I just tried to make it more complicated. All right, so real quick, let's go back upstairs and let's get the recipes for this. So we are using stripped oak logs and brass for this one. The next one is this. Okay. And then we're going to go back down here. One of the things I've noticed is trying to do floor 10 will put it back here because of the 1. So I've put a 9_10 here for now. I don't have any other solution. I might be not thinking of it, but it's a problem. We'll figure it out. We just have like floor 90 just all of a sudden. No, I'm not sure. We'll sort that out later though. Okay, so we should have andesite casing here and this one here. So now what we should be able to do is say, hey, I need X amount of casing. So let's say 10 brass casing. This should send out the casing. And I also did not do anything to actually get this back into the system. Well, that's simple. We just get an interface. One interface for this whole system. And we don't want to cause that loop that we're accidentally doing. And we just grab a pipe. I think what we could do to make this look nicer, instead of running the pipes directly to the side of it or anything, we just run them under. And that'll make it to where we can actually do the copper casings as well. So that'll be fantastic. So let's actually run one extra cable to right here. And we also can filter this, right? So that's probably not a bad idea to think about. Just get a handful of those. So do this, and then andesite casings. Or we could just do like one solid where it's just no stripped logs. Doesn't really matter. Whichever method you want to go with, we're going to just do the casing itself. And we can do that again here, which is the andesite casing. And then we can connect this through here. Perfect. And actually, I might want to just lower that one so we don't have to see it, because that's kind of the point of doing that. Okay, so that should be good. It looks like we actually failed because I most likely sent the rest of those logs back into the system. So let's try that one more time because I forgot to fix the input. What are you doing? Where is the stripped logs? Okay, let's cancel that one more time. All right, stripped logs. You've got no pipe to, like, accidentally send into the interface, right? You are pulling stripped logs, pushing them in there, and then you should be... Oh, I accidentally clicked blacklist. I didn't do that on this one, right? Okay. One more time. I promise, I've played modded Minecraft long enough, right? But I'm still kind of making mistakes. It happens, though. Okay. So now we should be good. The other thing is, sooner or later, we'll replace this all with electric motors. We could look at, like, the newer options for, like, the new age. What is it called? Create new age. At create new age, which adds, like, the whole generator coils and nuclear reactor or whatever. We could look at that, but genuinely, I'm not going to get into create enough to do that. The electric motor is going to suffice, in my opinion. It may be. If you guys have enough, if there's enough interest, I might take a look at it. I've never messed with it, so that might be something we could do. But for right now, I don't have a plan of doing that. And, you know, it's mostly because I don't think I have enough time to kind of get into it and kind of investigate everything. But we'll see. We will see. But yeah, this is definitely cruising. Also, we can take the blocking mode off of that thing. But this is definitely the slowest process. I feel like if we ran out of stripped logs, that's not even going to be the holdup. It's going to be these because of how slow they are. And I could make this windmill just a bit bigger, I think. Let's see. Let's quickly try that. See if we may be able to speed this up just a hair by doing that. So we're done with the AE2 crafting, right? So let's turn this off. And let's just add some more windmills here. Just like so. Nothing too crazy. Is that better? Yeah, I would say that's a little bit better. Okay. So we can, of course, real quick, just get the copper one going too. That's not a bad option. Just so we have it in case we need it for something. Not 100% sure if we will need it for something, but, you know. So deployer and depot, depot, whatever you want to call it. I always call it a depot because it just is funny to me, and people get irritated when I say it, so kind of makes me thrive on chaos a little bit. I don't think I have any copper casings. So I would just need copper and a stripped log. Because I don't ever use creates fluid mechanisms and all that stuff. All of its shenanigans. So maybe we'll find a reason for it. I think you can store like a mass amount of fluid in their tanks and stuff if you wanted to go that route. But I don't know if I've ever went that route. So maybe something else to look into. I really should do like a create series where I just focus on create. But I don't know if that's a good idea. Because I think create's like market on YouTube is really, really oversaturated. So I don't know. That might be something for for you guys to decide. Maybe if that's something you guys want me to do is like live stream, do like a first episode live stream or something for 1,000. That might be an option. Something I could look into. Find like a decent create mod pack. Not saying that that's like a guarantee, but I could look into it. Okay, so we need to do here, which is copper. So that should be copper. Another thing we have an overabundance of. Actually, I think we almost have an equivalent amount of iron, don't we? A little bit less than that, but still quite a bit of iron and a lot of copper, which is honestly just common. You get so much copper through these playthroughs. There is a mod out there that I think changes like the data table, the loot table for copper and the ore, where it just drops one. What is that? I don't even remember what that mod's called. It's legitimately just called copper drops. I have it written to my right because I was looking at some mods and I was writing them down on a whiteboard for some things. And so I quickly looked over there. So if my audio quality just like kind of dropped where I was quiet, it's because I was looking to my right there for a second. So, okay. So that should be the copper casings automated. So copper casings. Fantastic. And then we can go just back down to floor 9_10 and pop that into, where's it at there? And we could look at getting some copper casing. Let's just go for 10. Yeah, and you see that like once this deployer, if it's like down at the point of item insertion, it doesn't work, which is understandable because that is like, it has to think about it before it can do it. Okay, so we should be good with the anvil. I don't think there's anything else here that we need to like worry about with automating with deployers. I don't think. I think we can look at that, right? Manual item creation. So you can make train casings. I don't think I'm going to worry about trains. Leaded concrete, reinforced blast brick. Interesting. And I don't even... Is that the right one? I guess deploying is what we're looking for. So yeah, there's tons of different recipes for this stuff. Polished rose quartz. Some goodies that I didn't even know we could do. Copper circuits for create new age. So yeah, there's tons of recipes in here though. So maybe if we need something, we'll look into it. Like the polished rose quartz, that might not be a bad idea. But then again, of course, you have a durability thing, and that might just be a pain in the rear anyway. So for now, we have done the create, or well, I guess Farmer's Delight automation of a cutting board to get stripped logs, which is like the weirdest like way to go for stripped logs, because we could have done the saw, mill, and all that stuff with create, but honestly, I think this is good. I think we're at a very good point, because this is our very basic crafting ingredients for create, and I'm pretty sure we need brass casings for mechanical crafters. Yes. And then, of course, we need electron tubes. So I think the next thing is potentially looking at pressing. Some pressing matters, maybe. Of course, there's like the multi-servo press if we wanted to go that route. I think the multi-servo press would probably be the best option, just because it would be the quickest. Polished rose quartz, best option. Enrichment chamber, rose quartz, just craft it like that. So there's not a lot of create stuff there, so that's not going to be difficult. And then that should basically give us all the mechanical crafters. I think the next portion that we'd want to go for is the electric motor, which is this right here, because this would give us the ability to quickly and efficiently power not only this kind of system, but also the precision mechanism system and the all the mods 9 star system. I think I don't know how many stress units you'd actually need for 55 of these mechanical crafters, but definitely we will look at that. We will get into that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye bye.